G'day, everybody. Alibar Jones here, talking about the Epstein files and the inaction as to why we haven't seen mass arrests. And there's a few good reasons for it, but one of them our team's been working on. So if you're not familiar with who the Earth Guard is, we're a team of astral projectors and we fly around beating up the cabal and pursuing humanity's interests. So what's the real issue here? And you're seeing people trawling through the Epstein files and finding people red-handed. And there's two main reasons why these arrests have not gone through yet. The first one is that in the first level of Freemasonry, you have to vow to hide the crimes of your Freemasonic brothers, which makes recruiting police and judiciary an absolute requirement for the Freemasons. And the Freemasons become the priest class for the Illuminati or the Cabal or this satanic cult or whatever it is that you want to talk about. Yeah, because the Freemasonic religion is fundamentally satanic at the top of their hierarchy of Satan. The other reason this has been such a problem is because they've been employing wizards to make sure that this information never gets out. Now, I talked about it in a previous video, but our team has gone on 4 or 5 missions about this already, about shutting down the information firewalls that human wizards have installed on Earth in service of the Illuminati. So, and the point of these is that we will never see this information, nor will we be able to think about this information in a reasonable manner. Everything about this information will be slower and dumber. Are the two curses that they put in, so that if the wrong people get hold of it, then it'll be really difficult to do anything with it. That's the kind of spells they've put around the Epstein files and also around disclosure. So disclosure is the fact that our governments are the junior partner in alliance with one or more alien groups. Now, our team has been bashing demonkind for the last few years, and they are weaker than they've ever been, and we continue to weaken them. Though the change has been that we've been going after disclosure. We want the world to know that the people who run our world are not in service to the people of our world, but they're in service to an off-world group. That's what we want people to understand. Because until we see that, like things like the Epstein files don't make any sense. You see, there's a religion and a cult and a rulership case for the Illuminati, or the people who are in the loop about Earth governments being in service to off-world groups. And, this is you don't hear this very often. It's not very popular, but they're definitely not in service to us. And it's hard to even believe that motivations like greed and power explain everything that's going on. It definitely doesn't explain cannibalism. Definitely doesn't explain the moral corruption that goes that far, or the lengths they go to dominate specific industries. It's obscene. And our team, on its first attack, shut down the information wall that they had put around the Epstein files. We were concerned because we don't like fighting human wizards on the other side. Like, we usually win, but it's costly, it's expensive. So after we took that down, their team went into panic mode to try and repair it. And to a certain extent, they did. And so while they were watching that, there was another wall, information firewall of the same kind on the astral plane, exactly the same design, exactly the same features for disclosure, so that we're shut out of disclosure. And as they started to panic about that, then we shut down the Epstein files, and then we were able to find a series more of other information walls that they had put up, well, for all sorts of things. A lot of history there. But this is the practice. They thought they had perfected the art of hiding information. So they had a team that had built several of these information firewalls, and one by one we played cat and mouse and took them apart, and gladly without having to confront them. Now, good times, good times. And so we thought this is way too much work for them to try and rebuild it. And looks like that was the case. However, if the off-worlders still want to keep this planet, then they need to reinstall those information firewalls. And as it turns out, the human wizards who were charged with this informational security were sidelined. They were proven incompetent and they were pushed to one side. And then they had a conglomerate of 7 different groups, being reptilians, mantoids, demons. There was a spider group. Cthulhu came together, and 2 others that I didn't sort them out. But one by one, each of those 7 groups had deployed a wizard, and we took them all out and shut down a sphere of informational slowness. Or it's like instead of the information going to the right place, it pinballs around and just ends up being stacked in a file somewhere and forgotten about. It was there to distort the flow of information, to slow it, and the distortion is meant to mean that the information never reaches its ideal destination. And it looked pretty effective and complex and rich, but us humans, when we're in full light, we know what we're doing, and it was actually an hour and a half, 2 hours from 4 of our finest, 4 of the finest from our flight team. We did really, really well. So the next thing that we're looking for is what else are they going to try and do to collapse the Epstein file story? How else are they going to push it to one side? I even saw the Department of Justice, an article saying we released 2.5 of the 6 million Epstein files, and the other 3.5 we're not going to release. Thank you very much. And it's pretty ugly, but I don't think they'll get away with that either. This should be cause for revolution. I suspect there are more magical blocks to prevent uprisings. But between all of the lies told all about the health crisis of 2020 so that they can put nanotech in our veins, Jeffrey Epstein trafficking kids, and now the satanic cult being revealed, like, what more does it take? What else is required? And in our projections, it will take about 2 months for this. If we keep pushing, it'll take about 2 months for this to come home to roost, for the fruit of these efforts of exposing these people and exposing them to arrest and punishment. So look, don't lose heart, but just stay loud, stay focused, stay on it. There's nothing else to talk about as far as social media is concerned. So keep pushing it because it's so damn important. And I really think we are this close to reclaiming our planet. So if you want to know, we're going to keep fighting. We're never going to slow down. We're going to keep doing this for as long as we're able. And pray for our success. Don't pray to any particular god like Buddha or Cthulhu or Thor or God, or Jesus or anybody. Just sing it into the wind that you want us to win, that you want our goals to be met, and that supports us in ways that we can't explain to you. But we're going to keep pushing, and we all want the same outcome. We all want a free Earth. So my love to you all. Stay well. Bye for now.